Hello and welcome to the Thousand Tales podcast. My name's Connor Logan, and I'd like to welcome you to a special reading of the Ventura County Poetry Project. Our featured reader is Ann Buxie. So sit back, relax, and enjoy her poems, and then an open mic where we feature some great local poets. Enjoy. Well, first of all, welcome to March 2020, right? It's nice to see everybody. And I wanted to pass it over to see, Phil, if you had any particular announcements or anything you wanted to bring up.
Well, tomorrow night, it's a hybrid. It's going to be E.P. Foster Library, and it will be on Zoom as well. It will be Chris Yost reading with Karin Kitchell. And the old-timers that have been going to poetry for several years will know who Karin Kitchell is. She's actually doing a tour from Paris. She lives in Paris, and she's going to be coming here for a reading. And she's going to be live and in person.
I'm bringing cookies.
And Peg's bringing cookies. She's the one who's bringing cookies. So it should be nice. The whole idea of hybrid is fraught. You know, a lot of people have decided they want to stay home, and then a lot of people have fallen away because it's been 2 years. So we're basically going to be rebuilding our readings up again. And then on Sunday at 2 p.m. is going to be the erotic poetry reading, which should be fun, or I hope it's fun. So, and that'll be happening at 2 o'clock. And I'll be sending out email stuff, and it'll be on Facebook, ... Oh, one other thing. Last Friday in April, Janet Clough is going to start, have a featured reader over at Bell Arts with an open mic. And that should be fun. And that is planned to be hybrid as well. Because the hybrid is being so good to get people we got people from all over. You know, and I think that it makes a big difference. We don't want to lose those crowds, but the excitement of being in a room with people and poets and listening to poetry live is pretty amazing, especially how since we haven't done it for a while. So that's all I have to say, and that's way too much.
No, that's great. Hey, I just wanted to ask you if you have any particular advice for Ron and I. Like, how has it gone doing hybrid sessions elsewhere? Do you have anything to share on how to make it really like the best possible?
You just got to get a camera. You know, you're gonna have to get a little small camera that Anita had, and we used it. And then you got to have an extra one so they can see the crowd.
Gotcha.
And so you have to run it through your PA. I think you're going to be working with the TO library system, so I'm sure they've got a pretty good PA. Mm-hmm. And if they do it hybrid, which they said they would, it'll be good, at least in TO library. I'm not sure about Newbury Park's facilities or not.
Gotcha.
It actually looks really good if you've got a screen and a good projector. I mean, really, our hybrid audience is probably more seen better than being up there just standing.
Wow,
it's pretty big.
That's great. Well, I'll have to take a run down to the Newbury Park branch and just touch base with them about that. But thanks. Yeah. That's really nice to hear that it's pretty great like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to make the jump at some point. I think hybrid is going to be the future. You know, and I just think it is, whether you want it to be or not. I think it is. It's opened up so much, and I think that's great. Poetry needs to be opened up. Except who don't I want to go? Oh, it would be Florence. Florence is not listening to me. Okay, good.
So I wanted to just make sure before I forgot to let everybody know that I am recording the session, and I've been putting it out on the featured readers and then the open mic afterwards out on my podcast, which is just called the Thousand Tales podcast. So whatever application of choice that you happen to use for listening to podcasts, if you do, you just type into the search, you'll see Thousand Tales podcast, and you'll probably see a picture of me. So. This tonight's session will probably be up in the next day or two, And all I ask, because it's difficult to scrub through all the audio and find who said that they didn't want to be included, if you don't want to be recorded, at the time that you're going to read your poem, just make sure that you call that out, and I'll stop recording for that duration. So that just makes it much easier for me, to be honest. It's my convenience. So, well, any other announcements, Ron, from you or anybody else in particular? Otherwise, we're ready for our featured reader. No? We're good to go? Alrighty. Let me get my windows. So today, our featured reader is Ann Buxie. And one line from her, which I think is a great way to start. She says, "I'm a lucky star, still dazzled by the possibilities of words shared." And I turn it over to you. Thank you so much for coming. Please make sure you unmute yourself, and
Yeah.
I'm going to go on mute.
I'm unmuted, right? Thank you, Connor. I'm going to have some pauses in between poems because I'm just going to gather myself before I go on to the next one. So we can all gather ourselves. The name of this first poem is Extraneous Sounds. When I say fear, I don't mean when you encounter a snake. I mean fear coiling, disguised in content. The pieces of my life contained by a certain order. I didn't know fear was there, a shadow of inexplicables, regrets, or shames. I had light enough to pass in my house of habit, doing my duties, socially respectable, modestly successful. Then the world knocks, asks something more, grow. I discover a certain reluctance, the shadow, a fear I didn't know was there, confining me. To grow meant leaving my hold fast. At the behest of a greater calling, grow. I could not duck that call, though tentacles of fear kept reaching, could not escape discovering how deep the well within me, how vast the firmaments of earth and air and water, could not escape like the Morehouse College student in need of tuition assistance who rode north to harvest shade tobacco in Connecticut and felt an inescapable urge to serve society, later describing a sense of responsibility which I could not escape, a student we know as Martin Luther King. Nor could I escape growth, a sacred responsibility, trusting the providence of the day to transmute fear into act, into awe. I need a poem to reckon this moment, the aftermath of lunch with two friends. My heart's in my head, water gurgles in the creek, fire hops in the hearth. I sip remains of Earl Grey tea. I can't leave this table at the inn of the Seventh Ray, where three friends engaged spilled their lives into hungry years. The mathematics of hospitality lifts the intolerable weight of human desecrations. Now, sometimes you need to let off some steam. This is named trending. I receive EOBs, explanations of benefits from HealthNet, my supplemental health insurance. In large, bold font, it reads, "This is not a bill." This appeases me. The EOB has 11 columns detailing the amounts charged. for the services provided, as well as the Medicare allowed amount and the Medicare paid amount, both of which have little resemblance to the amount charged. Both Medicare figures amount to zero. The number of trees felled to explain these machinations, it defies imagination. The amount paid by HealthNet is also zero. Codes justify these zeros, but I toss the page that deciphers the codes. Additional columns tell me my deductible is zero. The payment issued to me, of course, is zero. Zero seems to be trending. I resent this. Who pays the $400 lab bill? I do, even though column 7 assures me the lab may not bill me. Hogwash. HealthNet continues to bill me monthly. Suppose when my bill arrives, I create my own EOP, an explanation of payment, with an insufferable code, which deciphered means the amount you are allowed to bill me is zero, a figure you are well acquainted with. In capitalized bold font will appear the words, "This is not a payment. May it appease you." That's just to let off steam once in a while. Now, this is a poet I recently discovered, and I've entitled it after Tana Runyon. When betrayal mutes you, and all you can say is, "Really?" Believe. When the children of this nation are belittled, jailed, and erased, believe in yourself. When your own child suffers contaminated hope, believe with tender mercy. When defeat chills your veins, believe in the surprise of fields, dabbing your sore eyes with yellow blossoms. When absence drains you and confusion sinks you, believe by any other means, the sun rising into song. When you have lost enough, believing becomes sacrifice. When you trust enough, belief cuts the cords of hope, and the thunder within you will fill your mouth. Maybe I just want to believe. Maybe wanting is enough. What I love about the desert, it's so full of earth. Call it sand, the way it curves into dunes, whirls into devils, settles in dry washes. Not Oklahoma earth, that red earth shrieking with fertility, but desert earth, how it celebrates water so gloriously. Monsoons, ephemeral falls, splashing down granite slips into gullies, thirsty, resting in pools where deer drink and life darts. Monsoons thundering, my hope ascending, rain's holy bow. Who could not be swept away? How earth replies, a dazzle of life, yellow and crimson and purple blooms, a crazy praise quilting my soul. This too shall pass and return again and again. Desert strong, life clings. It was just a card you sent in memory of my dad. Arizona highways photographers capture the glory, the particular glory of the desert. The saguaro's arms ever lifting in prayer, a prayer you now inhabit, Dad. This epigraph from Walt Whitman. There are divine things well